I'm Colton, the puppeteer, amigurumi artist and aficionado, and I am so excited to have you join me today for my review of the crochet pattern book of Reversible Amigurumi. Love, 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 love Reversible Amigurumi. I think it's such a cool feature. This artist, Chibi's Craft, has mastered it. Actually, I purchased one of Chibi Craft's designs 2 years before the publication of the book. Scrolling through social, I saw it and recognized a pattern that I'd already completed and knew, oh, there's a whole book of them. And when I went to Etsy and bought the original, I marked a couple that I knew I wanted to come back and get for later. But let me scroll through some of the patterns to see if there's anything of interest, something that makes me want to pre-order it right now. It wasn't long until I found the Lily Fairy. The avant-garde, the tall crown, the fun, the flow, the height, the everything. I went, oh, this is definitely welcome to my flower fairy collection. And then, yeah, look at that. So when I saw the Cauldron the Witch, that was what made me click pre-order. A few months later, the book arrives, and I'm in the middle of another project series, and I couldn't really get around to it, but I marked the ones that I wanted to do. I finally got to complete my favorite patterns from the book. This is Roz. Roz was the pattern that I purchased 2 years prior to the publication of the Reversible Amigurumi book, and right there on the cover, there she was. Now, you'll notice that my eyes are safety eyes. Personal preference, I would always rather a safety eye than an embroidered or felted eye. However, there are a couple of artists out there who do some felted eyes that make me go, So the embroidered eye wasn't for me, but the size of the safety eye that I preferred to use, I had for this doll, and it really worked out perfectly. And it gives her face a quality of character that I really enjoy. Finally, I've received the book. It's really there's so many other designs. Guys, there's so many other designs in here. I'm just showing you 3. Whenever I do a review, it's just 3 designs out of the book that I've selected. I don't want to ruin it for you or for the people that have done the hard work of designing really amazing patterns. So 3 designs, 3 patterns coming your way. The second doll that I did, the Lily Fairy, is what spoke to me. However, I'm going to do the Tulip Fairy later, and the Tulip Fairy is definitely going to be pink. And I really like to keep a bit of variety in my color palette, so I had a bit of a conundrum. Ultimately, lilies come in a wide variety of colors. I could choose any yarn color and say, this is a Lily Fairy, and make it work. But part of the balance and part of the fun is making sure it communicates well to your audience, and still, you get to have your fun with color and playing with your imagination. One of my favorites is the Tiger Lily. She turned out really, really great. Also, you will notice the embroidered eyes on the lily pattern. There is a subtle difference in the lily versus the rose pattern and how the faces are shaped. And the safety eyes that I used for the Rose Fairy, the way the pattern is designed, the embroidered eyes are not only an aesthetic choice, but they're kind of a practical one. When I applied my safety eyes, I recognized that the spacing would be a little off, and her face would not have the traditional balance that most people would find pleasing. So I decided to lean into the artistry of the asymmetry. You'll notice in the original pattern that her hair has a center part, and she has it comes down. The petals, the interior petals that make her hair have a center part that frame her face beautifully. Since I was using safety eyes that left her face a little off center, I decided to go another route with my stitching. Since the eyes were going to be slightly off center, I decided to off center the stitch of her hair as well, the interior petals that get sewn down. And so I had one cover one eye and then leave this sultry little swoop, leaning into the artistry of the asymmetry. I was tempted to embroider the stripes that give the tiger lily its namesake. However, I found a Copic marker does a beautiful job and didn't compromise the quality of the stitch. So many embroidered pieces, so many embroidered points in a single piece, it was starting to look messier than I wanted it to. So I undid the originals that I tried, and then just applied marker. And again, she looks beautiful. She reads Tiger Lily. And look how much fun she's having. Look at how much fun she is having. Finally, it was my favorite. You know, I am a fan of delayed gratification, sometimes just to see if I can. So as soon as I got the book, of course, the first thing that I want to do is do the Cauldron Witch. I had a name for her. She has a story. She has a backstory. There's like, all of my dolls have a story, have a history. There's a whole like an American Girl situation going on. But this one was near and dear to my heart. Look at her. Look at her. Oh my gosh. Let me introduce you. This is Brew. She's a Bruja. Who likes a good brouhaha? Brew la Bruja. So yes, the cauldron transformation pattern was the reason I pre-ordered the book, the reason I could not wait to get it in my hot little hands. And so here she is in all of her glory. I really love how she turned out. The hat is made separate, so I figure whenever she transforms is whenever the hat goes on and she's, boom, a witch. And whenever you take the hat off, she's back to being a little cauldron. I'm currently on my hook. Right there on my hook, just out of camera shot, is Brew's companion, the person who poured Brew into existence, if you will. It's spooky season and I'm having so much fun, but this pattern was a great experience and it was really easy to make. A couple of the things that I look at when I'm reviewing a crochet book is how understandable the instructions are. Are they effectively written? The quality of design are there lots of patterns to choose from? Am I going to learn new techniques or be able to apply these techniques to other things that I've done to enhance them? I really look for books that give you pattern pieces that you can use in multiple ways and across multiple different projects. So bang for your buck, really. What's the quality of the design? And then finally, is it fun? Is it fun to make these? And if you crochet, which if you're watching me, hopefully you crochet. If you crochet, you know that somehow, some way, there's always just a pattern that you gel with. This was a fun to make pattern. It's always fun to crochet. If you're not having fun crocheting, stop crocheting, go compose music, go paint a painting. But this art is not for you if you're not having fun crocheting. But there's always those pieces that it's just a little bit extra. It's a little bit more fun. And that's exactly what Brew was for me, was a little bit of extra fun. These other pieces were also great fun. Roz was a wonderful initiation into Chibi's Craft genius. I really appreciate the amigurumi.com pre-order link. I keep an eye on that account, and Chibi Craft still has her Etsy shop up and these patterns available individually if you find individual ones that you like, and other patterns that aren't included in the book that are equally awesome. Go see Chibi's Craft, patronize them on all social media platforms, give them a shout out, say, hey, you really appreciate their work. This is definitely worth your money, whether you're a beginner or an advanced crocheter. It has patterns at every difficulty level. I would say that the Lily is the most challenging of the three that I've accomplished so far, simply for the fact that there's more sewing involved with that one than some of the others. The Rose pattern, all of these do require a significant amount of sewing, just for the simple fact, and it's careful sewing. You don't want to see knots on the other side of your design. So keep that in mind when you're connecting with Reversible Amigurumi. There's going to be a bit of technical ability that has to be displayed for it to be successful. More reversible amigurumi, more reversible amigurumi, more reversible amigurumi. I think this is a great book of designs, but honestly, I can see myself making the entire book of designs over a period of time. I think eventually I will get to every reversible amigurumi design in this book and do a separate video then at that time. It'll be years from now. I truly believe this is a fantastic addition to any crochet artist shelf. Go forth, make the purchase, see Chibi's Craft online, say hey on Instagram, go to their Etsy page and see what other items that you might spark your interest. Until then, I'm gonna get back to hooking. You click like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else, and I'll see you on the next one.